Hey, it's Sandy. Welcome back to Cute Polish. In today's video, Erin will be sharing with you 10 of her all-time favorite nail hacks that make nail art easier for beginners.
Hey guys, it's Erin. So my first beginner nail art hack is something to help make your French tips look a little bit cleaner if you're not good at making perfect lines. This French tip didn't turn out as clean and even as I hoped, so I'm just taking a gold glitter polish and kind of messily applying it in a line along the French tip to hide the white line. Finish with the top coat and there you have your French tip nails and no one can tell that you couldn't do a perfect line. My next nail art hack is great if you're not really good at painting things on your nails. I'm starting with a white base and then letting that dry completely. Then you can take any color and size Sharpie marker and just use those to draw directly on your nails. They're a little bit easier to hold and work with than a paintbrush since you're really just doodling, so I'm doing a heart and doing a really kind of crummy looking star, but you get the idea. And you can really just do anything you want with the Sharpie right on your nail. Just remember to seal in your art with top coat to make sure the Sharpie doesn't rub off. This next tip is really helpful if you're a beginner at nail art and you tend to make a little bit of a mess. So just take some Vaseline or petroleum jelly and apply it with a Q-tip around the edge of your nail. This is going to act as a barrier to help protect your skin from getting nail polish on it. So if when you're doing nail art you flood your cuticles or make a little bit of mess coming onto your skin, the Vaseline should help it be able to wipe right off your skin. This next tip is if you want to do gradient nails but you don't have nail art sponges lying around. I'm painting my base color and making sure it's completely dry. Then I have this old Beauty Blender makeup sponge just that I use to apply my foundation and concealer, and it's pretty old at this point and dirty, and it's also ripping at the bottom here. So I'm just going to take my tweezers and rip a little piece off and then use those tweezers to dab on the other color for my gradient. You want to start at the bottom of your nail and then apply less and less polish as you get closer to the center so the color kind of blends together. Let each coat dry and repeat the process so the bottom color is completely opaque. Make sure you apply a top coat to smooth everything out and fully blend the colors together. And there you have easy gradient nails and you didn't even need any special nail art sponges. This next tip is really helpful if you're new to nail vinyls or using tape to create nail art. So as you can see, my base color is completely dry to the touch. I'm able to press on it and rub it. So I'm going to put on nail vinyls and paint over them like I usually would. But when I go to peel it off, even though my base color was completely dry to the touch, it's still kind of peeling off the base and just leaving a really messy looking base. So what you have to do to prevent this is to apply a top coat before you use nail vinyls. So do your base color and then take a fast drying top coat and do a coat of that on top of your nail. Once again, let this dry completely, about 30 minutes to an hour, and then use your nail vinyls over that. Just doing the same exact process of painting my other color over the vinyls. And now you can see when I peel off the nail vinyls, it's not sticking and they come easily right off without peeling off my base color. And always make sure to seal your design with a top coat. This next tip is helpful if you don't have a ton of nail polish colors to choose from or you just don't really like painting with nail polish. It can be a little bit tricky because it can get gloopy and thick, but you can use acrylic paint instead of nail polish. Acrylic paint is a little bit thinner, it's not going to get as thick and gloopy as nail polish does quickly, so you have more time to work with it. And since it's easy to mix acrylic paint and create more shades, it gives you a lot more variety than nail polish might. If I'm doing some really fine detail, especially with the black, I think it's really helpful to use acrylic paint. This next nail art hack is great if you want to kind of create your own nail polish shade for your nail design. So I'm taking a bottle of top coat that I'm not using, and this old highlighter that's a little too dark for my skin tone, and I'm just scraping a little bit of that pigment into the top coat. Shake it thoroughly to mix, and then I can apply right on my nail. I only used a little bit of pigment, so this ended up being a sheer shade. Of course, if you added more of it, you would have a more opaque shimmer, but you can create this with any eyeshadow of your choice. This next nail art hack is how to make the most of your matte top coat. As you can see, I did some nail art here and I'm just going to go straight in with my matte top coat on top of it. And you can kind of see that it's smeared my design and it doesn't even dry fully matte. There's still a little bit of shine to my nail. It's also showing the texture and bumps of the design, which I don't really want. So to avoid this, what you want to do is first apply a glossy top coat and let that dry completely. Then go in with your matte top coat. And you can totally tell now you have a smooth base. It's dried to a completely fully matte finish. And overall just looks a lot cleaner and smoother. I put them side by side here so you can see. The one on the left is just the matte top coat. It's smeared and bumpy and not fully matte, but the one on the right has glossy top coat before matte and it looks a lot better. This next nail art hack is really helpful if you want to create nail art using a glitter polish, but it's just a little bit too thin. As you can see, when I apply this rose gold glitter with just the brush, it's really thin and I'd probably need like 3 or 4 coats for it to be fully opaque on my nail, which is not what I want. So instead, I'm going to take a sponge and apply the nail polish directly onto the sponge. Wait a few seconds for the base, also known as the clear part of the nail polish, to absorb into the sponge and you're left with the glitter. Then dab and roll that sponge directly onto your nail and you'll have a much more opaque glitter payoff. You can see I only needed to do 2 thin coats of glitter to get a fully opaque glitter base. I'm just peeling off this protective layer I put on my skin to make cleanup a little bit easier, and then apply top coat to add back in the shine and smooth out the glitter. This next hack is really helpful for beginners that might not be great at nail art on their nails, or if you want to do your other hands but have a lot of trouble doing it. I'm going to be taking a plastic clear sandwich bag and basically just using that as my canvas. So I'm going to paint some flowers, so I'm taking a light pink nail polish and just blobbing on some circles. Then I'm going to let those dry and go in with a green nail polish to create some leaves off of each flower. Now I'm taking out hot pink and adding some details to those flowers. And adding some highlights with a lighter white shade. Once the flowers are dry, I'm painting over them with a little bit of top coat just to kind of seal them all in and make it an easy peel decal. Then once the top coat is dry, I'm easily able to peel that off using tweezers and just stick them down onto my nail. Press lightly to make sure they're secure. You can also trim or clean up any excess of the decal that hangs off the edge of your nail. And make sure you seal them in with a top coat. So now you can create any design you want on your other hand by just painting it on the bag first and then placing it on your nail. So those are my 10 tips for beginners doing nail art. I really hope you guys found this video helpful. If you want more from cutepolish, you can click the boxes here to watch some more videos and click the circle here to subscribe to cutepolish for a new video every week. You can also click the circle here to subscribe to my personal nail art channel.